So yeah, we can kind of take a look at what we have right now. Hopefully Bella's joining us soon and she can show us like her 2D stuff. But yeah, I don't know if any of you guys want to start specifically, and we can kind of go from there. We can
Oh
take a
wow,
look
so
at
that shit.
everything, and
That's either one. I could just show mine real quick.
hmm
Uh, Actually, I was just doing my UVs just now. Um,
Mm.
I mostly just wanted to focus on texturing, which I haven't gotten to that point yet. But overall, I'm just trying to see exactly. I don't know what camera angle exactly we're using. I assume something roughly around here.
something around that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'll see if I can
So
pull that
I'm
up. But yeah.
okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly the camera angle, but I assumed we want something that's a bit more stylized. So initially, I went for simple announcement board type of deal, and then I realized we should probably like angle it more in certain
Mm.
ways. So overall, this is just like very basic. Mostly want to focus on texturing, especially since I'll be focusing on the character. But yeah, just simple.
Yeah,
Nothing crazy.
it's
So
looking good. Yeah, I think the we definitely want to see one big thing probably around like next week is also looking at I'll finish up taking a look at the shader with Susie and we can see how the textures look with it, but yeah, just so we can like kind of get that more like closer to like that like cell shading style that we're thinking of. But yeah, like that perspective like is pretty much what it is. The only thing is like just for like the actual objects that we're gonna be working in the game. What I just said before, I think I'm recording, so I'm just gonna say it again. It's like we probably want to focus on like bigger objects, but that's completely fine. That's I told you guys that it could be anything for this, so it's all good. It could be any object, no matter the size. So yeah, I mean, I think it's looking good. We can take a look at the other ones and see kind of how they compare, and if anything, yeah, we'll go from there. But I like it. All right. I don't know if you want to show yours, Rylan.
Yeah, sure. All right. My textures are still sloppy, but I did do a little with them because I wanted to experiment with Pixelator. Wait, is that the right one? Screen one. Okay, good.
Mm.
All right. So let me. You can open this in a full window, right? Views. I don't know. Let's just make it like this. All right. So I went for the locker. I want to do it because it's a big block, so you could do a lot of experiments with like wonk and stuff.
hmm
So I tried to. Here, let me bring in Maya too. God damn it. Why can't I? There we go. So I made it not a straight box. It kind of tapered the edges in
Mm.
because I was curious how that'll work in orthographic. What is it? An orthographic camera view. I think it works okay. I also like for the extra angel molding instead of putting wings and stuff on it because I didn't know if this would be if wings and stuff on everything would be too much. I just had it like did some like cathedral gilding kind of and then accented it out with different colors. So this is what the pixelator does, by the way. I didn't realize that it doesn't go into world space. It goes in the UV. So my thing is a little bit, which might look fine. I don't know how they feel about it. And
Yeah, it's in the
yeah,
sense of like what you're talking about. You're talking about like the shading of it, like how it
I
kind of
mean,
feels
like I
different,
was
or.
expecting the pixels to be straight, like along a thing,
Okay, yeah, I
like
see what you
a
mean.
shrink wrap thing.
Right, right.
But no, yeah, they're
yeah,
like that.
I wonder. I guess it goes by the UV itself.
Yeah, it just goes in the UV.
Okay.
Mm.
It's just it's a very fancy filter to make it not look blurry, I think, basically.
Okay.
And also give you some options, like you can do dithering and stuff. Like
I haven't seen this yet, so
I can turn on this if we want, which is neat. I think it's a bit much, but
the filter's definitely useful though. But
then you got
Yeah, that's
this
definitely
too.
like very ultra kills. This is one of the people that made it.
It's
I can
literally, yeah,
definitely
it's
tell. Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah,
I like Ultra Kill, so it's very neat to see the tools. I can
yeah.
see where I could visualize how textures were made in my head now because I'm seeing this specific tool. So
Mm. Yeah, I like it. I also like the idea. I mean, yeah, this is just like the early stuff, but I remember you were talking about like putting like stickers and stuff like that, like more
Oh yeah, so
details.
that would
If
be
Oh
like
yeah.
a decal basically, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Just like the same thing. We just gotta keep in mind like, um, after I get this stuff down and we can take a look at like the actual angle and perspective that we're gonna use, just keeping the details. I mean, it's pretty basic, but just keeping the details legible on the screen.
Yes.
It's probably gonna be something that we can focus on. Um, so maybe like some
Wait, could
maybe
you
like a
change this to orthographic? Oh shit,
oh there you
there
go.
we go.
Oh, there you go. Nice. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, something probably around that is what we're gonna have, yeah. And the each I see like
That's a lot.
the sides that are closer to the end, they're bigger, right, than the ones to the front?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the lines are I made wonky,
Okay. Yeah.
which is a blessing and a curse. Made the texturing a nightmare because this curves
I
sideways, but
True.
oops.
yeah,
Hmm.
I like that angle a little bit more than the other one.
This
Um,
is also with baked lighting, which is something the guy recommended. I could, if I turn it off, it looks like this.
hmm,
Okay.
I didn't know this was a thing. It makes things a little
Right.
bit easier for some stuff, I know.
right. Yeah, and so again, also something that we gotta keep in mind for the models that are actually in the game. Main thing that we wanna keep when talking about like architecture on the level, it's going to be the base of the model, the parts that are going to be sticking on the floor. They should be as close to a square as possible. Whenever possible. We're talking about like
Hmm.
walls and like objects that are going to block the player's movement, just as it's a little bit easier for them to kind of tell. We were looking at it before. Again, this is just because it's the recording. I'm just saying it again. But in Hades, everything has like that kind of like squarish bottom, and then it kind of goes crazy. It could be a bush. It could be anything different. So there's definitely ways that we can put like wonk on it on the top specifically, but on the bottom we want to keep it um, mostly regular, like mostly closer to that kind of like grid view, if anything. Which is what you're doing in here, so that works out fine.
Hmm.
And also in Taurus as well with the little square on the bottom. Um, so yeah, I mean, I like it a lot. I think it's looking really good.
Thank you.
I think I like the wonk as well. But it depends on the angle. Like I feel like this right side angle looks slightly better than the other one. It might be just
Okay.
my personal opinion though. Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely not symmetric stuff. That's fair.
Mhm.
Oh, the other thing I was worrying about, getting a color palette like dedicated per like was it the characters, enemies, and stuff would be nice. I was trying to figure out what a good accent color would be because usually I think gold would be going with this because we're going for like a heaven theme, but that's
Mhm.
I think too close to the player.
Yeah, I mean we can have accents, especially with something like this one that's
Like
gonna be in the hallway. We can definitely kind of like be a lot more how do you say it? Like a lot more liberal with the colors that we're using. And
yeah.
in terms of the color palette stuff, I meant it mostly on the main colors of the models. Yeah, so something like that would work fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
My
because
only issue with this might be it might blend in with the character too much. So like out of first glance, it might if you use too much of the molding, I don't know how big of an issue it would be.
yeah, I mean you could make it like look like more like a whitish yellow if
Oh,
anything
very
maybe.
light.
Yeah, like something around that. Maybe even more. Yeah, something like that even. I
Could
mean, like I
do.
said, for something like this, for example, this model right here would probably be in the hallway instead of the playable
Mm-hmm.
area, so it's not as much of an issue. But
Mhm.
Fair.
I think it's fine having accents as long as it's kind of like that 70-30 ratio, right?
Yeah.
Of different colors, because whenever the way that the gameplay for now is gonna look is gonna be very fast paced. So as long as the main color of the item has those like those colors that we were talking about before that palette, we're gonna be fine. Um, like I try to do that as well on the character designs that I put in. That like for example like the two devils that I made, they're mostly red. They have like white and some like one of them has like a purplish color, but they're mostly red. Or like kind of closer to those tones, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can definitely use how to say like complementary colors. We can kind of treat it like a case by case basis, if anything. You can like post it and we can talk about like maybe other colors that could work with it, if anything. Um, because I also have some of we're still working on like getting the hazards and the toys that the player can use, which are gonna be like basically imagine like different buildings that help the player in some way. Like imagine whenever you're on pinball, you have like that paddle that like bounces the player off, right? Or like the ball off, right? On pinball. So something like that is
Mm-hmm.
probably what we're gonna be doing for which is gonna be a prop as well, not necessarily a
Interesting.
character. So yeah, so something like that is where we really want to watch those colors, right? Um, something like that, or something like the enemies, or like the hazards, like spots where the player can, like, I don't know, like spikes or whatever. But on the other items, we can definitely go a little bit more liberal with the different colors, you know. Now that I said, we might even we can work this out like when we get closer to like working on this stuff, but um, the kind of color palette for the background itself on the playable level would probably be like something warmer, like maybe around like orangish color, kind of like a running track, um, if anything. And then like different like clutter and stuff for like different buildings and architecture, they can have their different colors to kind of match that or like complement that in ways. Um, like I'm thinking like maybe like deep blues or like also like kind of darker reds, kind of like getting more like burgundy if anything. For some of the stuff that are gonna be obstacles could be good, but yeah, we can worry about that. Like I can probably talk to you guys about this next week's meeting for that next
Mm-hmm.
sprint. But yeah, I mean overall I like it as well. I like the wonk.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of
Thank
like
you.
finding that like angle that works, you know. But other than that, like yeah, it's looking really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
All right. We
All right, and Chandler, I don't know if you have, because I think you don't have your computer with you.
No, I'm currently on vacation. I'll be
Mhm.
home tomorrow, but the model itself is. I finished the base model and I put that in sketches and ideas.
Mm,
It's supposed to be a clock. I know you guys said that you wanted some of the props to have like wings or halos to
yeah, yeah.
coincide with the theme, so I added 2 wings to the
Hmm.
clock. Tried to keep it as low as possible. It's 800 tries, around 400 polygons, which is decent. Um, and I know you
Oh
mentioned
shit.
that I won't have to do anything for the back faces. I already kind of anticipated that, so all of the back faces have been dissolved um, already on this model, so we won't have to worry about that.
Awesome. Cool.
In terms of how the clock is shaped, is that kind of the low poly style that we're going for? Because I know we're not going for like super low poly,
Hmm. Yeah,
but
I
you
would
know.
say if anything, may the only place that I think might be a little bit too like there's too many polys would be in the inner face of the clock. You know, like the actual circle itself. Um,
So the reason that I did that is
mhm.
because it's going to be a little bit harder to see uh, the numbers of the clock, like the hours of the clock,
Right.
if it's as if it's as low poly as the outer edge. I can always change that, but that was my mentality on that
Mm,
part.
I gotcha.
Maybe if you bump the outer rim to like 10 or a little bit higher poly count, it won't stand out as much.
Well, I do kind of want it to stand out a little bit. I think that
Okay.
that kind of works towards the stylized aspect of this art style that we're trying to go for, right? Because like what I've been doing is I've been looking at Abyss Zero, which is
Hmm.
the game that we're trying to not copy, but
Can I emulate in a way?
kind of emulate. Exactly right. And they'll have is they'll have a bunch of their props will have some like really low poly parts of them, and then other parts of the model are kind of a little more high fidelity,
Hmm.
which I was trying to emulate here. So yeah, I think like the wings may be a little bit too big. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think I would probably, in hindsight, make them a little bit smaller. I do like the shape of them. I think I did a pretty good job on the shape of the wings. It was a bit hard, I will admit. I wasn't sure like if you guys wanted to go for because there's like two kinds of wings, right? There's like wings that are a little more angelic. They have these almost like capsule like feathers, and then there's the ones
Mm.
with the sharper feathers that kind of taper out, which is what I ended up going with here. But as far as the texture, it's not finished. I did buy the pixelator filter
Mm.
system for Substance, and it works pretty well. I like Rylan was saying, it's going to be really hard to match pixels together for hard edges. Um, when you look at things like Ultra Kill, they don't really worry about that. If you go into that game right now, you'll see a bunch of pixels will not overlap with each other correctly. If that's something that we really want to fix, I can try my best to try and fix that, but I actually don't think that it's worth our time to worry about it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be fine with the pixel resolution we're going with. It would matter a lot more if we're doing like
Speaking
8-bit,
of,
but
so I noticed, Rylan, you had like 256 or around there. Do we think that's a little too high resolution?
oh, that's the
Because
default. I didn't really.
oh, was it the default?
Yeah,
I know that we don't want the pixels to be so high resolution that you can barely tell that it's pixelated, but we also don't want it to be like Minecraft, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely not.
which is why I have been experimenting a lot with around 64 to 128. That's kind of the range that I've been fiddling around with, and to me that looks pretty close to what Abyss Zero does.
Hmm.
But if you guys have like a different idea of what we should do for that, then feel free to let me know. But yeah, in terms of the clock model, that's essentially the finished thing. That's what I've been working on the past couple days. Yeah.
Yeah. So I first like going through what you were talking about. I feel like the wings are really good in this style specifically, because I feel like doing the kind of like trying to make soft edges in pixel art is yeah, well, not pixel art, and like the low poly that we're doing might be a little bit harder. So I think these wings work fine for what we got, and the size of them I like them as well. Um, the I also okay, I understand what you're going for with the different like hours and stuff like that. So I think that's fine for that. The only thing is like again, just reiterating what I said before. Um, we can keep this kind of same level of detail, but mostly on like the bigger stuff that we're gonna be working on, like stuff like I said, like a table or bigger, right? Because if we put this in the game, like just like as a regular size clock on the wall, the player's probably not gonna be able to tell, like even read the numbers from the way that they're gonna be looking at it.
Mm.
But just in terms of like taking these principles and putting them onto bigger models, I think that's fine. Um,
I would definitely, not to cut you off, I
mhm.
would certainly agree with you there. This again, we were just kind of like testing to see if we can emulate this art style, and so this might not even make it into the game. I just kind of wanted to see like if I could do what they do in
Mhm.
games like Ultra Kill and Abyss Zero. I'm pretty happy with what I did. I think I'm fairly confident I can start to make models that are around this art style for sure. But
Mm.
I would agree, like for a game that's third person isometric, um, a lot of detail should be spent on more of the grandiose models than anything else. I would certainly agree with you there.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I know we're doing like 2D cinema or yeah 2D cutscenes mainly. However, if we do end up wanting to go with 3D cutscenes, we should probably try to figure out like what mod, because obviously in a 3D cutscene it's going to be a lot closer to the space, right? It'll be
Yeah.
like around the characters.
Mhm.
Um, at that point, we would want to have some of the smaller models to have a little more detail. But that's only if we end up going with 3D cutscenes, which it's sounding like we don't want to do. So, um, yeah, no, I definitely agree with what you're saying there.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we should be good with just like 2D. Um,
Hmm.
if anything, like now I'm kind of thinking about like Hades again, and the way that Hades does their cutscenes is that they still keep it isometric as well. Like they
Yeah,
have the
I
characters
gotcha.
move, yeah, just by themselves. If anything, we could leave it like that. Like I would say like worst case scenario of like if the direction switches up. But for now, yeah, that's the idea.
Cool. And for dialogue, we're just having like the text box and then like a 2D version of the character at the side of the text box, kind of like how Hades
Yes,
does it,
exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
cool.
gonna be that 2D character with like maybe the mouth moving a little bit and then like the different emotions depending on what
Gotcha,
they say.
cool. I like that. I always love when games do that. One more thing that I was just kind of thinking about when we were talking earlier about the shader, the lighting shader that we're going to use.
Hmm.
Um, I know what we want to go with a cell shading thing. How do we think that's going to work with pixel textures? Because in my mind, I think it may look a little bit odd, but maybe
Mm.
you've seen it maybe you've seen it be done before and it looks good. So I was just asking you about that.
Yeah, so I still have to kind of talk to Susie specifically about that to see exactly what we're gonna land on.
Hmm.
Um, Let me see. I'm trying to see. I'll take a look at what like Abyss Zero has, just to kind of, because like I'm seeing like for like Ultra Kill definitely doesn't have. It definitely has seems to have like something a little more like traditional shading.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
was thinking, if we still want to do pixel textures, I know it's been done before. I don't know how to do it. We'd have to research that, but we could do like the shading and the lighting is almost dithered. It's like a dithering effect,
Mm,
which coincides with the pixelated art that we're doing, anyways.
right.
I think that would look really cool, but I'm always down for cell shading. I love how that looks, but that is definitely something that we need to have fully implemented, or at least like we have the system down, because if we make a bunch of models early and then we're still waiting for that shader to be made, it may end up looking really, really bad on these shaders, and we need to make sure that
Yeah.
we're optimizing these models for the lighting effect that we use. So I think it's really important that that's made pretty early on.
Yeah, I'll definitely I'll send a message to him so we can figure that out as soon as possible.
Hmm.
Um, the way that I'm looking at it, like Abyss Zero, it's interesting because it has very simple shading. It's literally just like I'll send a screenshot on sketches and ideas.
Hmm.
It literally just has like I don't even want to say like I want to even say that it might be like a custom texture that they put in for the shadows because it doesn't even match like the characters if you
It's
look
like
at the
very
base.
hard shadows,
Yeah, it's
right?
like it's
Yeah.
literally it's literally like a polygon and it's not even it doesn't even match like the character that it's on.
Hmm.
Um, so
It
yeah.
might be a nightmare, but we could just like since we're working in such a low like detail texture style, we could also just like hand paint the lighting into them, and then just do like an unlit shader.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
might
because
be what they.
the way like if we're looking at it right, like for example, looking at that screenshot, it definitely doesn't seem like it's like the lighting. I can't really tell a lot of it from the like from looking at the game, like, but
I think they
I'm
went
not
for
sure.
Doom style, right? I don't think Doom had lighting.
Yeah, I don't believe so either. Um, like something like Ultra Kill definitely has like that those kind of effects where like there's definitely like on the bullets and stuff like that. It's definitely it's not very pronounced per se, but um, I'll have to take a look at it. I'll talk to Susie and see what we can find online, like like some shaders that we can kind of base ours from, and then we'll settle on something that we like, and we'll let you guys know next week.
Okay.
I'll settle that until next week. Yeah, definitely. Um, so yeah, we've got that. Anything else that I think? So yeah, I mean, I feel like for the three models, we definitely have like a good idea. Everybody seems to be working in definitely set similar kind of ways. I think the direction that we're going is good. It's just like the main thing that we gotta worry about would be that like I mean let's just keep working on the texturing and then we can see um, what specifically the pixel ratio that we want to work on is gonna be. So yeah, just keep working on those textures. If you want, you can post whatever like the work in progress that you guys have. If you want to try something different to what, for example, like Rylan has done, so he's the one that's the most advanced in the texture so far. We can post it and we can see kind of how it looks. The only thing is like for on Rylan on yours, I did see like when you were making specifically the kind of like little handles for the models, it has like a little bit of dithering, right? When
Yeah,
you
that's the
paint on
only.
it.
Well, that's from the pixel art thing. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's not something that you can turn off or
Well, it
like.
was kind of the. That's where you would see the pixel art if you were going for like that thing. So I think that was kind of the intention. I think I
Mm,
might be able to turn it off though. That was from the lighting baked. I'm pretty sure too.
okay.
Here, I'll try. I'll see what I could do real quick.
Yeah, because like for example, something like a base zero, like it literally has like bare like I don't think it has any dithering at all. Um, and that's what I kind of had in mind looking at like going into it in terms of like having no like just straight up like just the pixels on it. And yeah, the textures on the game definitely do look like they have kind of like the baking out the light already on the model. Like it literally has like small like on the top of the model has like the little like maybe 2 pixels of like the lighter color, right? To kind of show that lighting. But yeah, there's barely any dithering on those. Yeah, that's kind of going back to the like the direction that we were looking at last week, kind of like that. In terms of like going closer to kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon type vibe, it would definitely be closer to like no dithering on those on the textures. Like just a straight up different colors, I guess clashing against each other with the simple model texture.
There's some of it like kind of like the chains and stuff. 1 second.
Hmm.
Trying to find a comparable bit. Oh, if I just harden the edges, I guess it'll be fine. Because this is like shaded round, right? That's probably why.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's something to keep in mind. Um, you guys can keep working on it, Tori and Chandler, and see if you come up with the same kind of result or if you can avoid it, and then we can kind of reconvene and see. I mean, if you guys if it's like too much work to kind of work around that, we can just keep it in. But um, that's just like the vision that I had for it. Let me see.
I think I have to add extra different detail to them because this kind of looks weird just
Hmm.
being color, but that's it without the baked lighting. And you like guess gradient and stuff for to
Yeah.
put detail back in.
Hmm.
This is where it's coming in because it's trying to do what is it the color gradient as the
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I
shader.
see. I see that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mostly meant it on like you see where the handles are at, like how the handles are.
Hmm. Oh,
s-
this is just because I slapped these on terribly. They're
Okay. Oh, okay, okay,
I
okay.
see.
Yeah, there you go, there you go. Okay, okay. So yeah, yeah. As long as it's like that, that's what I was talking about. Not necessarily the lighting, but just like the actual texture itself.
Mhm.
So yeah, as long as it can like we can reach that where it looks like for example that third one on the second row, um, the one below that one.
Oh,
Like
this
yeah,
thing?
something
Oh,
like
so there's
that. You know,
block.
where it's
Okay.
like yeah, where it's just like the mostly just like the
Mhm.
same like the one color without like any
Yeah.
kind of like fading onto a different one. That would be what I'm looking for.
And you know
In
what?
terms of that.
What do you think about having like a 1 pixel outline on one side to like show depth or whatever?
Oh yeah, that works too. Yeah, like imagine
Okay.
like maybe putting like a little like grayish black on the one side. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Kind of
like
like
that as
how
well.
I guess these are. Oh wait, actually, let me make sure it does that right. Oh, I don't even know what happens to these, but it looks fine from a distance. But like, yeah, up close it's like a nightmare.
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe this is not the best way of doing the height painting.
Mm.
Never mind then. I was gonna show an example, but I don't have one.
That's all good. But yeah, like in Abyss Zero, like you can see it on the, for example, even the screenshot that I sent on the machine gun that the character's holding on like the bottom texture, you can see like it's purple and then it has like a little bit of pink on that last side. Like
Hmm.
that would be I think that's what you're talking about, right? So
Yeah,
yeah,
basically.
yeah. So something like that. Yeah, I think that would look really really great. Um, but yeah, so yeah, you guys can keep working on that
Oh, actually,
stuff.
it's even more apparent on the computer monitors on the side, I think. Or is this just different models? Oh, never mind. I thought there was one big model with a line in the middle to show the indent between them.
No, yeah, that's different models. Yeah, but they like you can even tell like below the like the little board like base of it, there's like a like a fake shadow on it as well. Like it's already everything is
Yeah.
baked into the model. So yeah, we'll take a look at the shaders. We'll see kind of where we end up, and then we can go from there in terms of like painting the actual finished models. Um, but yeah, so next week we'll start talking about like the kind of like the next sprint, actually working on stuff that's gonna be in the game. And for the remainder of this week, um, you guys can work on finishing out those textures. You can send them in on the chat, and we can talk about them in terms of like the pixel ratios and this stuff. So yeah, I think the last one it should be Bell. So we can take a look at your 2D stuff if you want.
Hi, hello. Am I coming through?
Yes, you're good.
Yep. Yeah.
Hi. Okay. Hi. So I have like three major drawings to show off, and I'm gonna put them in the sketches chat. So first, because I have like a lot of just nothing sketches done just to learn the characters,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna be doing that like copying the art style because I'm mostly looking. I'm not only am I looking at like the model sheet, I'm also looking a lot at like early 2000 cartoons specifically.
Mm.
Like on my mind, off the top of my head, I was looking over Jimmy Two Shoes and my gym partner's a monkey.
Okay, okay.
Like that
Nice.
kind of flat style, sharp shapes, thicker
Yeah,
lines.
yeah, that's
So
definitely. Mhm.
I have some base headshots. Just I didn't color them. I just wanted to get like the feel for it down the line weight, how the mouth would move, how the spines would look from a 3/4 angle.
Awesome. Yeah, I really like this. Yeah.
Because for the text boxes specifically, I was thinking more like a bust instead of just a headshot. So then maybe also emoting with the hands could be used, and if not that, just to like fill out the area in the text box.
Yeah, definitely closer to the bust is
Hmm.
would be best. So kind of like yeah, like kind of like yeah, just the bust, and we can use hands 100%. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Next is this one. This one was mostly for like the color, trying to figure out how certain objects would look in color, and I brought up the idea of like a splash screen, not to be like actually used, but just to like so I can get a handle on the characters and make like a thing. And I did it based on the garbage can sketches that I did earlier that people seem to like.
Mm. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, it could be cool, like even something like in this style, if anything. I'm thinking we could even do like the first time that you see an enemy, or for the boss even. We could do like something like this
Mhm.
where that like not the like the yellow in the back could just be transparent, and then you have like the game in the background,
Yeah,
and
I
then
bet that can work.
yeah, and that could be like it's like that like kind of Borderlands introduction, it's like oh the boss or whatever, and it's like that little
Yeah.
freeze frame of that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
All right, I'm glad. And then the final like main piece I have that's worth showing is this little I don't know I guess character interaction thing. It was just to figure out the character designs for the enemies mostly,
Mm,
but I wanted instead of just doing like a still body study, I wanted to show them like interacting possibly just for my own sake,
yeah.
just to see how these characters would bend and move and exist.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome, awesome. So yeah, in terms of like, I really like how all of these are going. Definitely. I think you got the very much the right idea, especially like with the line weight and stuff like that. Like that's really close to what I was kind of thinking. Um, if anything, like for specifically for you in terms of like next week and moving into the next sprint, we would probably move on to like doing like the expressions for Agrios, and I still have to do the like finish up the design and the design sheet for the main kind of like the guide girl character. So
Mm.
those two would probably be what you'll be working on in terms of like the
All
next
right.
next sprint. So we can have like I think we should be able to have like by the next sprint also like the prototype of the dialogue like system, and then we can put those in and stuff.
Sure
Um,
thing.
awesome. So yeah, I mean that's looking really good. Everybody's doing good work. Definitely, we can kind of keep just chugging along for this week, and then I'll have the shader stuff for next week, and um, I'll come up with some of the stuff. So in terms of like the 3D art as well, like Chandler and Rylan, you guys
Mhm.
are probably going to be working in terms of like the stuff that's going to be in the game. You're going to be working on the um, playable area models first, definitely. Um, and obviously Tori's going to be doing the character,
Mhm.
just the Agrios model for now. And yeah, I'm looking going from there. Um, Awesome. So that should be pretty much what we have for today. Um, just keep on working on your models, and I'll finish up the design sheets. I think we should be missing only two or three, because we're gonna have a devil that just has like it's the same as the basic devil, but it's gonna have like a regular like Japanese um, uniform. We're gonna have the guiding character, and then we're gonna have the boss. And those should be like the main models and characters that we're gonna be working on in terms of like the 2D and 3D. Um, and Sabrina, she couldn't be here, but she's working on like same thing like a 2D kind of uh, test of the art style because she's gonna be the one that's mostly gonna be working on like those cutscenes that I was talking about. Um, so yeah, I mean that should be pretty much what we have so far. We can keep working on this stuff, and we'll meet probably around the same time next week. It'll probably be a general meeting, so we can kind of talk about like what the other like what design and code has been doing. Um, I know design is almost done with like the GDD and stuff like that, so we can have a better idea of like all the props that we're going to be working on as well. And code got almost all of the movement working so far as well. And so I couldn't get the GitHub to work, Chandler and Rylan and Tori. So I'll send you guys, if anything, a screenshot or a video of how it looks, like the actual perspective. And I'll get with Susie so he can help me like find like the actual like what do you call it like the orientation of it as well, so you guys can work with that for the next models.
Sounds good.
Right.
Awesome.
Alright.
Perfect. So yeah, that should be it for today. Thank you guys so much for coming, and yeah, I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Talk,
Bye.
talk to you guys next week.
All right.
Yep.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you.